Big 12 now on ESPN+. Welcome to the Coliseum in Morgantown, West Virginia, where the 3-5 Mountaineers hope to bounce back against 5-4 Drexel. Nick Farrell here alongside the Mountaineer Hall of Famer Warren Baker, Angelica Trinone, the third member of our crew. Bake, reinforcements are coming for Josh Eilert's team. Got to cook a cook back against Pitt. Will get Kirk Risa back in the next game, and would be great to have a victory pocketed before that match against UMass.
Yeah, after playing a very, very good Pitt team, this team's going to be good, but the Mountaineers really need a victory.
Absolutely so, Bake. It's a battle in the post today between West Virginia and Drexel. For the visiting Dragons, keep an eye on the 6'10 senior Amari Williams, the CAA preseason player of the year.
Really good inside, a big lefty, strong. It'll be really interesting to see he and Jesse Edwards match up today.
Edwards, of course, the fifth-year transfer from Syracuse. He's had at least 13 points every game this season, including 20 in the backyard brawl.
Yeah, just short of a double-double every game. I'll tell you what, he's been the glue inside for West Virginia.
Edwards averaged a double-double a season ago at Syracuse. He's got 3 double-doubles to his credit this season, averaging 16 points per game and just shy of 10 boards per game. All right, let's go to our sideline reporter, Angelica Trinone. She's standing by to chat with interim head coach Josh Eilert of the Mountaineers.
Coach, what's the key to getting your shooters not only confident but comfortable here in the first half against this Drexel defense?
I just told them play loose, enjoy the game, have some fun. You just get out in transition, get us some easy buckets, and don't think about it.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff, Angelica. Thanks very much. Visiting Drexel Dragons 5-4 overall this season. They had a big win back on the 2nd. 57-55, an upset over number 18 Villanova, but are coming off a double-digit loss to a Princeton team that these Dragons just faced and say could be a top 25 team themselves later this season. Referees today, Antonio Petty, Amy Bonner, and Brett Smith. We are underway at the Coliseum in a matchup between two teams wearing gold and blue. Mountaineers are wearing white from head to toe. They'll get the ball on the far sideline. Dragons in blue with gold trim.
Yeah, Justin Moore fumbled the ball right away. Maybe that's a good omen for the Mountaineers today.
Referee Amy Bonner gives it to Quinn Slazinski, and we're back underway here at the Coliseum. This is Josiah Harris and now Kobe Johnson on the flying WV at midcourt. He'll run the point for the Mountaineers. Down low to the big man, Edwards. Can't get it to fall, and Amari Williams rips the board.
Good set play. Jesse just couldn't get it to go down.
Starters for the visiting Dragons, Lamar Odin Jr., Justin Moore, Luke House, Williams, and Yame Butler. This is Luke House, the transfer from Cal U in Pennsylvania, Division II program. Up and under, he's got the opening 2.
Nice move, just a little head fake. Got around and laid it off the glass.
Starters for West Virginia, Johnson, Edwards, Ofri Neve, Quinn Slazinski, and Josiah Harris. Mountaineers trailing by a deuce in the opening minute. Slazinski to Edwards, taken away by Williams, the big man from England. They'll run with it, the Dragons, and a flush from Williams.
Boy, Williams with the steal and really running the floor well.
Big man who can do a lot. He can run the floor. He's got great vision and is a terrific passer. West Virginia coach Josh Eilert complimented him earlier today, saying he might be one of the best passing big men in the nation. Meanwhile, West Virginia turns it over again. Kobe Johnson traveled.
Well, good steal, handled it, did the right thing, gave it up, got it right back, and got the flush.
Well, Bake, that is one of your keys to the game, is it not, for West Virginia cherishing possession? They haven't done that so far.
No, they have not. Boy, Moore having trouble handling the basketball. Fumbled the first one out, and now he loses it on the baseline.
So, Bake, hit us with your keys for the Mountaineers today against Drexel.
Well, go at Williams. Take the ball into him, get some pump fakes and see if you can get in foul trouble, and do something with your possessions. You got to cherish each one.
Meanwhile, your keys for the visiting Dragons.
Well, get that ball and get Williams involved early. He's already had a dunk, and their shooters better be ready because he's such a great passer that he can get it out.
Bucket for Quinn Slazinski. He's West Virginia's leading scorer, averaging 17 a game. On the other end, quick trigger from Butler. Rebound Dragons. Here's House. Inside to Williams. He's 6'10" against the 6'11" Jesse Edwards. Williams, left-handed hook. Doesn't go.
Nice soft touch. Just couldn't get it to go down.
Johnson against Justin Moore. Johnson gets the bucket over Moore, and we're level. Dragons wasting no time getting up the floor. Yame Butler can't make the reverse layup. He'll go to the free throw line after he's fouled. Drexel Dragons led by a head coach who practically grew up inside this building. Zach Spiker, the son of WVU Hall of Famer John Spiker, who worked at West Virginia University from 1975 to 2015, was the head athletic trainer, then coordinator of athletic medical services. Zach Spiker, a Morgantown guy who went to Ithaca for his undergrad, but then came back, got a master's from West Virginia, and coached, or was an assistant under Coach John Beeline's staff. 2 free throws for Yame Butler, the senior from Maryland, and the Dragons have the lead.
And a 1-2-2 full court press. Really trying to trap the Mountaineers. Nice job. Yeah. Neve with a great read. He didn't get into that trap and got rid of it.
Good cut in by Slazinski, who got the finish. He has 4 points. We're tied at 6 with 17 minutes left in the first half. Second time the score has been tied since the opening bucket. Here's Butler, who just hit the free throws for the Dragons, throws it away. Second Dragons turnover.
Butler looking for Moore to break to the ball. He broke baseline. Nobody there.
Tied up at 6, West Virginia and Drexel. Mountaineers started slow, but have hit their last 3 field goal attempts. Off the screen by Edwards. Johnson in the lane. Loose ball, rebounded by the Dragons. Here's Justin Moore to Williams. Great finish by the big fella.
Well, I thought he got away with an extra step there. It looked like he made a walk, but I'll tell you what, the big fella running the floor like that, he deserves to get a basket.
Williams has 4 points to lead the Dragons so far. Averages over 11 per game to lead the team. Neve, that would have been a great one off the glass, but it doesn't go. Quick tempo again from the Dragons. House in the corner. Here's Lamar Odom Jr. inside, rejected by Josiah Harris. Tight one early on. Drexel holds a 2-point lead over West Virginia at the WVU Coliseum.
Welcome back to the WVU Coliseum. As you heard Coach Eilert say there right before tip-off, he wants these guys to play loose and have some fun. And I have some insight into the fun that they had at practice getting ready for this one. He said it was important to flush that pit loss immediately, so they started practice off by playing basketball tag. It's something that Alex Ruoff, Dayshawn Butler, and even Kerr Kriisa did overseas. And I actually talked to Dayshawn about this pregame. I said, hey, what's basketball tag? He says, think of it as you're a kid on the playground, you're playing freeze tag. It's just a way to have fun and really collect guys up on your team, put some smiles on their face, and relieve the pressure. They want these guys playing confident. In order to be confident, you got to have fun. But that's this version of basketball tag. I know Warren Baker knows of another one as well.
Yeah, Bake, we were discussing this earlier today at Shoot-Around, and thanks for that update, Angelica. Maybe some conflicting reports on what basketball tag really is, Bake?
Well, yes, I had my own version of it, and quite frankly, I think it was better than what those guys said. So don't tell them I said that.
Don't want to cause an argument or anything, right? Back underway at the Coliseum, Nick Farrell, Warren Baker, Angelica Trinone, as Drexel leads West Virginia by 2 and has possession out of the timeout. Dragons have an edge on the scoreboard and a substantial edge in the rebounding margin early on. Also leading 6-2 in points in the paint. Williams from just outside the key.
Boy, Mari Williams off to a good start. You know, only had 2 points against Princeton. Unlike him, and you knew he would, be real ready to go today after that last outing.
Dragons almost got another steal. They'll get one this time. Moore picks Slazinski's pocket. Dragons pushing the tempo again after West Virginia's third turnover. In the corner, it's McGee who misses. Rebound West Virginia. That's Kobe McGee, who just entered the game during that stoppage. Bake, not sure if you're a Ken Palm guy, but the Dragons typically play slow tempo, rated 352 in the nation in tempo, but they've really been pushing things early on as West Virginia commits an offensive foul.
Well, you know, Zach Spiker probably said, we know West Virginia has a short bench. Let's see if they can get up and down and keep up with a little faster pace. JoJo Harris with an offensive foul just now. Another turnover for the Mountaineers. We talked about cherishing possessions, and West Virginia's really struggling right now.
Under 15 left in the first half. Dragons by 4. West Virginia has gone more than 2 minutes without a bucket. Lucas Monroe with the basketball. And now Justin Moore, who's been solid on the defensive end. Great pass inside to Garfield Turner. He finishes and is the 4th Dragon scorer.
Yeah, Turner comes in when Williams takes a blow, and he produces immediately.
Drexel doubling up West Virginia 12-6 in the first half. Slazinski working hard for it. Can't get it to fall. Rebound Drexel. Garfield Turner. Moore's going to test his luck from 3, and he swishes it. Just a 19% three-point shooter on the season.
Justin Moore is more of a downhill guy, but you know, he was wide open, not a hand in his face, and college guys are going to make those.
Edwards is fouled on the low block. Turner, the culpable Dragon.
Not a hand in his face, right? You know, those guys are going to hit those type of shots.
Here's a change for West Virginia. Cook is in for his first minutes. Seth Wilson also re-entering. Cook, a great ovation here from the Coliseum crowd. He missed the beginning portion of the season after suffering a medical incident during the exhibition against George Mason in October. Played 8 minutes against the Panthers and has an assist on the Seth Wilson 3.
Boy, Seth giving a little jump off the bench. You need to see that. Good for him.
Mountaineers end a 9-0 Drexel scoring run. Big 3 for Wilson a moment ago, a 31% three-point shooter on the season. House working against Wilson. Deflected by Edwards. Possession will remain with the Dragons.
Wilson steps right into that shot. He knew it was coming. He was ready to let it go. That's the Seth Wilson that we've seen shoot before.
Ten on the timer as the Dragons trigger from the baseline. Here's Jamie Bergens. To Monroe. 3 to shoot against a Cook. A Cook got a deflection. Shot clock violation.
A Cook really active as he comes in. He gave some good minutes while he was able to play the other day. I expect his minutes to go up a little each game until he really gets in shape.
Played 8 against the Panthers. Coach Eilert saying maybe could get him into 10 or 12 into that range today.
Little token man-to-man pressure. West Virginia, no problem.
And a completely new 5 for the Dragons than the starters who began the game. Here's a Cook. Wilson, quick trigger, got it! Boy, Bake, how important is it for Seth Wilson to get hot?
He had been struggling in the previous games, but I'll tell you what, when he gets on a roll, he can really light it up.
Mountaineers with back-to-back unanswered three-pointers from Seth Wilson. It's a one-possession game with 12.5 left. Monroe inside against a Cook. Pops it out to Mateo Cruz inside against Ofri Neve. Cruz, basket and the foul.
Well, what a tough shot. Neve says, you know, I had my arm straight up. What else could I do?
The Hungarian Cruz against Neve, a native of Israel. Cruz wins the duel and extends the lead to 5 for Drexel for the time being, with a chance to add to it. Mateo Cruz, 6'6" grad student from Hungary, played high school ball in England on the same team as Amari Williams. At Myerscough College in Preston, England, he completes the old school three-point play, 6-point Dragons lead. Kobe Johnson with it. Neve, Edwards, Cook, and Wilson also on the floor for the Mountaineers. Inside to Jesse Edwards, working hard in the post for the bucket.
Jesse was not going to be denied that time. He got Turner down low and just abused him inside.
Edwards becomes West Virginia's 4th scorer on the day. Bergens has his shot deflected by Johnson. Mountaineers playing better defense, and they're getting production from Seth Wilson on the offensive end. But West Virginia still trails by 4 in the first half.
Off, Coach. This Drexel team was on a 9-0 run, but Seth Wilson comes in, hits 2 big threes to get you guys back in it offensively. I know he's one of these guys that you were looking for to shoot more and get that confidence. What can that do for his confidence?
It's great for him. Told him to come in and just shoot when he's open, and he did it. That's a great lift off the bench. Exactly what we're asking of him.
Now, I know a Cook coming in here, obviously very limited for this team as he works his way back, but what can he do in terms of being a spark defensively?
Great thing about a Cook is he only knows how to play 100%. So when he comes in the game, he's going to give you his all. It might not be for a long time, but he's going to bring his energy.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
That's Angelica Trenone with West Virginia assistant Alex Ruoff, as Amari Williams is back into the game and throws one down with authority for his 8th point.
Well, poor defensive communication by West Virginia just now.
Meanwhile, Bake, Mountaineers have been better offensively. They opened the game with 3 consecutive turnovers, but they're now 6 of 11 from the floor, and they've hit 3 of their last 3. Wilson has the hot hand, can't stay hot. Edwards, offensive board, tries for the putback and is fouled by the big fella Williams.
Nice job by Jesse Edwards. A little pump fake right there and got him in the air. You see Williams here. Yeah, there was miscommunication on that just now. There's no way he should have been able to roll to the basket. But, you know, Jesse Edwards went into Williams. That's what you do with great shot blockers. If you go straight up, they're going to block it. Take the ball into them and make them make the contact.
We knew that was going to be a battle to watch. Williams against Edwards. Right now, Williams on the score sheet is winning the duel. He's got 8. Edwards with 3 after that free throw. Williams is a 2-time All-Conference Defensive Player of the Year in the CAA. Edwards makes them both. He's got 4 on the day, 2-possession game. Williams can't connect with Mateo Cruz. 4th Dragons turnover.
Checking in for Drexel number 14, out.
Nice cut by Cruz, just poor execution on the play.
Dragons continuing to apply a little bit of pressure on the Mountaineers. Johnson, Wilson, Edwards, Neve, and Cook, the 5 for the home team. Edwards inside, had it stripped away by Moore, but possession stays with West Virginia.
Checking in for the Mountaineers, Matt Sunday.
I don't think Jesse Edwards saw that help coming. Had he seen that help coming, he would have had a much stronger grip of the ball and probably scored it.
Edwards checks out and replaced by Pat Sumnick. First minutes for the Green Bay, Wisconsin native for West Virginia. 8 on the shot clock. Johnson wants to go all the way. Might have had it blocked on the left-handed attempt. Neve pokes it free. Johnson still down there. Has to pull it out because Williams was right on top of him.
Zach Spiker yelling for a double dribble. He thought Johnson double dribbled inside.
Mountaineers get an extra possession after the transition steal. They trail by 4. Sumnick, a 3. Got it! That's not really his shot, but he'll knock it down if he's wide open. He's now 2 for 4 on the year from beyond the arc.
can do nothing but give him a lot of confidence on both ends of the floor.
Mountaineers have hit 3 3-pointers from guys who need confidence in Wilson and Sumnick. No answer on that possession from the Dragons, but they get a loose ball on an offensive rebound. Here's O'Cruz against Neve again. O'Cruz up and under.
Boy, just the strength able to get that ball up.
Basket by O'Cruz.
Officials letting them play inside. A lot of banging going on.
3-point Dragons lead with just under 9.5 left till halftime. A Cook with the right hand can't get it to fall. Quickly inside to Amari Williams. Out to Justin Moore, right back into Williams. Quick turn off the back iron.
A Cook needs to get out of the game. He's motioning that he needs to come out.
And Josh Eilert, the interim head coach of the Mountaineers, picks up on that and quickly calls a timeout with 8:52 remaining in the first half. Drexel leading West Virginia 22-19. We mentioned it earlier, Zach Spiker, a homecoming of sorts for the 8th-year Drexel head coach, the son of John Spiker, who oversaw athletic training and rehab for Mountaineer athletes for 40 years, and he founded West Virginia University's nationally renowned athletic training curriculum. A lot of family in the building for Coach Zach Spiker, including his dad, John. Believed that his wife, Jen, is also here today. Jen was a former assistant head coach on Nikki Izzo Brown's women's soccer staff here at WVU for 11 seasons and helped build the foundation for a women's soccer program that ultimately went to the national title game in 2016. When we talked to him yesterday as the Dragons were making the trip here, Coach Spiker kind of downplayed his emotions about coming back here, but in speaking to some other folks affiliated with the program, they know that this game is meaningful to him.
Certainly is. A homecoming for that, yes. I'm sure he's had this on his calendar for a long time.
Mountaineers have turned it over for the 6th time. Dragons with an opportunity to extend their 3-point lead.
Boy, they got a mismatch inside with Johnson. Nice job. Excellent job by Slazinski to come over and help, because there was a huge difference in size.
The help forces the turnover, traveling violation. That's Drexel's 6th turnover.
Yep. Quinn coming over. He saw that was a big mismatch right there. Good help defense.
One possession ball game, just over 8 to go until halftime. Josiah Harris back in for West Virginia to Slazinski. Wilson in the corner, Johnson at the point. 5 on the shot clock. Wilson for 3. Back iron. Rebound Odin Jr. for the Dragons. Justin Moore trying to get downhill. Another traveling violation. Back and forth battle at the WVU Coliseum. The Drexel Dragons lead the West Virginia Mountaineers 22-19.
Get everybody out of the way. Clear it. Don't play. Go away from Jesse. Let's go diamond, straight diamond. Okay? Straight diamond.
Give me the ball so I come up closer. All right. Once you get
Come off
across.
this side.
Once you get across, yeah.
Clear.
I'm going to you, then I'm going to go down.
Inside the huddle with West Virginia interim coach Josh Eilert back here at the Coliseum. Nick Farrell, Warren Baker, and Angelica Trinone with you on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Drexel leads West Virginia by 3 points with under 8 to go in the first half.
Drexel staying with that man pressure.
Almost forced a 5 count on the trigger for West Virginia. Both teams shooting it well. Dragons just over 50% from the field. Mountaineers just below 50%. They're 7 of 16. First action for Jeremiah Bembry for West Virginia. He connects with Jesse Edwards. Here's Quinn Slazinski, 7 to shoot. Off the screen from Edwards. Slazinski pops. Rebound Bembry. Here's Josiah Harris, and now out to Seth Wilson on the logo. Wilson to Slazinski. That's a triple.
Nice setup by Seth Wilson. Slazinski ready to shoot it when he caught it. That's the key.
Visiting Dragons in the midst of a difficult three-game stretch. They beat nationally ranked Villanova, but fell to Princeton by 16 earlier this week. Mountaineers force another turnover. 8 Dragons turnovers.
Quinn knew that ball was going to come back to him. He could tell that he was going to get a pass there, and he was ready to shoot it when it hit his hands.
That 3-ball by Slazinski has tied the score for the 3rd time in the first half, but the Mountaineers have never led in the contest. Chance to change that on this possession. Edwards beyond the arc. Going to work against Williams. Williams wins the battle and gets the rebound. Moore to Yame Butler. Almost lost it over the end line. Moore with a tough take. Justin Moore has 5 points, and the Dragons regain the lead.
And that's what he does. He loves to go downhill. West Virginia really needs to get on the boards. Drexel has 5 offensive rebounds. That's too many. You can't give up that many second shots, especially when you got a big guy like Williams inside.
Dragons are +7 in rebounding margin right now. Make it +6 as Wilson scraps for a long board. But an offensive foul. Seth Wilson ran right through Luke House.
That's the 2nd time West Virginia's hit an offensive foul like that.
Neither team in much foul trouble. West Virginia 4 team fouls, Drexel just 2. Moore off the screen from Williams, hits the 15-footer.
Boy, that's his game. If he can't get all the way to the hoop, he's going to pull up and shoot that mid-range jumper. We saw him hit a 3. That's not really his game, but I tell you what, inside the lane, he's really good.
Last 2 baskets have come from the native of Philadelphia, PA. Rejection by Amari Williams. Here's Oden Jr. Almost lost it at the baseline against Slazinski. Oden fading away. Williams with the rebound. Here's House for 3. Mountaineers needed that board. Under 5 to go, trailing by 4. Slazinski, that's a long 2 if it goes, and it does.
Nice screen by Jesse Edwards to get him open.
Slazinski now leads all scorers with 9. Under 4.5 left in the first period. Williams, great feed inside to Moore. Basket and the foul.
Basket by Moore.
Boy, Moore doing all kinds of damage inside against the Mountaineers right now.
And Bake, we're seeing the passing ability, the highly touted passing ability of Williams on that replay.
Exactly, yep. He's a lot like Jesse Edwards does a good job of passing the ball, and Williams does as well.
So after picking up the foul, Jeremiah Bembry, the Florida State transfer, goes to the bench for West Virginia. He's replaced by Kobe Johnson. Moore's free throw doesn't fall. And we've got a whistle and a stoppage with 4:20 to go in the first half.
Not exactly sure what the stoppage was for.
More changes for the Dragons. It'll be Williams and Moore to the bench.
I think it was a clock issue. The clock didn't start, so the officials saw that and stopped the game, which allowed Zach Spiker to get his subs in.
But with that change, the bulk of the Dragons scoring 17 of their 28 points, excuse me, off the court. Harris baseline drive. Second chance for West Virginia as the rebound falls to Slazinski. Johnson steps into a three. In and out. Another offensive rebound for the Mountaineers. Slazinski is fouled. And so we'll step aside for a break. The Dragons have led the Mountaineers throughout this first half. They lead by 4. Justin Moore, the sophomore from Philadelphia, PA, leading the Dragons with 9 in the first half.
Really not known for his outside shooting, but he hits that one. But he does most of his damage inside. A great downhill player. His strength, gets people in the air, hits that mid-range jump shot. That's a complete package.
Moore currently on the bench for the Dragons, along with Amari Williams, the preseason player of the year in the CAA. Those two guys have combined for 17 for Zach Spiker's Dragons here in the first half.
Yeah, Moore led them in scoring when they played Princeton last game out, had 19. That's the game where Williams struggled so much.
Action resumes. Slazinski lost it right away. So now it's Jamie Bergens running the point for the Dragons. Here's Luke House. Travel. 9th Dragons turnover.
They've had that full court pressure on the entire time, not guarding the ball out of bounds so they can try to double team someone, and then they drop out of it.
Dragons have hit 3 of their last 5 field goal attempts. Meanwhile, West Virginia cooling off 2 for its last 8. Mountaineers shooting 37% in the first half. Edwards to Wilson. Good ball fake. Corner 3 is up and in. Seth Wilson has 9 points. That's tied for a game high. All 3 of his field goals coming from beyond the arc.
He looks so much more comfortable than he has in the past couple of games.
Mountaineers trail by 1. Here's Bergens working against Kobe Johnson. Bergens.
Another mismatch inside West Virginia.
What a basket by Luke House.
It doesn't matter if you have position inside if a guy's going to knock a shot down like that.
Big time 3 as the shot clock expired. That's just the second 3-pointer for the Dragons. Back to a 4-point Drexel lead. Johnson to Edwards. Thinking about a long 2. Yes, soft touch from the big fella, Edwards. Dragons are 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. West Virginia 5 of 8. Put back on the offensive board for Garfield Turner.
Drexel has found something in the way that they're having their post player set up, and then there's a switch inside. Kobe Johnson again caught inside, not strong enough to get that defensive rebound.
That's the 7th offensive rebound for the Dragons. They've turned those rebounds into 8 second chance points.
Well, Odom with a good block out of West Virginia just side. Harris tried to get inside. He wouldn't have any of it.
Approaching the final minute of the first half, Drexel has led in this half throughout. Five to shoot. Bergens, offensive foul.
Good job of Kobe Johnson holding his ground here. Yep, got a little shove off.
Second foul for Bergens, and with the offensive foul, the 10th Drexel turnover. Final minute of the first half. Mountaineers with their short bench have been solid in first halves, but have tended to wane in the second halves of games. Slazinski gets the basket. First player in double figures. He has 11.
Did not rush anything. Took his time. Got his feet set. Able to lay it off the glass.
Back in the game is Amari Williams, the big man for Drexel. Gives it to Luke House. Justin Moore with 9 on the shot clock. Full head of steam to the basket, but can't finish. Slazinski didn't know Moore was behind him. Shot clock is dark. Here's the lob to Williams. Falls back to the Dragons in the corner. O'Cruz no good. 2 seconds left. Edwards with a heave. And after a frantic finish to the first half, the Dragons will keep a 2-point lead heading into the locker room. Drexel 33, West Virginia 31 at halftime. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Angelica Trinone, who's with Josh Eilerts.
Coach, another close game for you guys here in the first half, but we've seen those second halves close the past couple games. What's the key to not losing that rhythm outside of the locker room?
Same as to start the game. I wanted to push the pace. Let's push the pace. Let's not think about this. Let's try to get some easy buckets, and we got to rebound it way better. We're not rebounding, and we got to get some easy buckets on the offensive glass as well.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Mountaineers led by 11 from Slazinski are hanging right with the Drexel Dragons. They trail by 2 heading into the locker room. Our halftime report is next. Stay with us. Well, know this, if you wear a Santa hat to the WVU Coliseum, our cameras will find you. Second half about to begin between Drexel and West Virginia, with the Dragons leading the Mountaineers 33-31. Nick Farrell and Warren Baker here with you to recap the first half. Bake for the visiting Dragons. They got a lot of production from their go-to guys, guard Justin Moore and forward Amari Williams.
Yeah, Williams had a terrible game against Princeton. He came out to prove himself today. He's done a nice job. And I'll tell you what, Moore has really been a guy, too, that West Virginia has to watch out. He did it from long range. He can do the mid-shot jumper. And he also did some damage inside.
Moore, the sophomore from Philly, leads the way with 9. Williams, the senior from England, has 8. But Quinn Slazinski is leading all scorers. He's the only player in double digits.
Yeah, Quinn came in, seemed a little more relaxed. You see a nice little teardrop here. Yeah, they need that type of scoring. And then we saw a good half out of Seth Wilson. He came in, really looked comfortable, and knocked down some big threes.
It's interesting, Bake, because while the Dragons have the edge in rebounding and paint scoring, outscoring West Virginia 18-6 in the paint, the Mountaineers have an edge in bench scoring 12-9. That's something we haven't said much this season with how thin West Virginia's rotation is. Only 9 guys active tonight. All right, let's get some thoughts now from Drexel head coach Zach Spiker, and to do that, we check in with our sideline reporter Angelica Trinone.
Coach Spiker is not happy with one category in particular, that is turnovers. He said West Virginia 16 points off his team's 10 turnovers, unacceptable. Right now they are gift wrapping West Virginia points. He says what he wants to see in this second half, simple, take care of the basketball.
Very good, Angelica. Nick Farrell, Warren Baker, and Angelica Trinone, your crew here on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Second half is underway. Drexel in blue with gold trim, now attacking the basket to the right. And the Dragons have possession. Here's Lamar Odom Jr., whose 3-ball falls short. Mountaineers in transition. Josiah Harris with a flush.
And maybe that can get JoJo going. He's really struggled of late. Sometimes it just takes a breakaway like that to get a guy going.
Immediately, the Mountaineers push the tempo. They've tied the score for the 4th time, but they've never led in the contest. How about another stop for interim head coach Josh Eilert's team? Mountaineers seeking one here. Here's Justin Moore kicking it to Yame Butler inside. Butler can't finish. Rebound, West Virginia. Here's Kobe Johnson, and the Mountaineers take the lead for the first time. Some energy out of the locker room, Bake, from WVU. A takeaway for the Mountaineers. Good steal by Edwards. Johnson to Harris in the corner. Off the iron, but it falls right to Johnson. Slazinski steps in. Back iron that time. Harris, another rebound.
West Virginia just outworking Drexel right now.
Mountaineers trailed by 2 at the break. They now lead by 2 early in the second half. 8 on the shot clock. Harris wants to go against Williams. Williams got a block and a rebound. Open is Oden Jr. in the corner, and he makes West Virginia pay. First bucket for the Georgia native, Lamar Oden Jr. gives Drexel the lead.
Yeah, West Virginia organization on the transition defense, not good that time.
Inside lob to Edwards.
Williams got caught up looking at the ball dribbling and then forgot all about Jesse inside.
Terrific feed, too, from West Virginia's junior guard, Kobe Johnson. That's the 3rd lead change in this ball game. West Virginia makes Drexel go 1 and done. Chance to add to this 1-point lead. Johnson, Edwards, Slazinski, Harris, and Neve, the starting 5 on the floor for West Virginia to begin the second half. Edwards, 18-footer is in. And Jesse Edwards is the second Mountaineer in double figures.
Jesse says, I can play without my back to the basket a lot better than people think.
10 points for the native of the Netherlands. Pop to the corner to Justin Moore. Back inside to Amari Williams against Edwards. Williams puts it in.
When you get a guy that strong, that close to the bucket, he's going to do one of 2 things, either score or go to the free throw line.
Tough duel between those 2 big men, Williams and Edwards, both with 10 points. Here's Slazinski. Right-hander off the glass, doesn't go. Rebound, Butler. Neve getting involved at the half-court stripe, but he fouls Butler. Second personal for Ofri Neve, and the first foul for either team in the second half.
Yeah, Ofri just a little too aggressive there. He knew it. Didn't argue about it.
To the corner, Butler. Loose ball on the rebound, falls to Williams. Back to Butler, baseline drive, and he stepped out. That's the 12th Dragons turnover. More action for West Virginia forward Akok. Picked up a few minutes in the first half, back in the game early in the second half. He made his season debut earlier this week in the backyard brawl against Pitt, a game West Virginia lost 80-63, giving up 29 points on 9 3-pointers made to Blake Hinson. Neve, long 2, swish.
Good patience by Neve, not trying to get all the way to the rim with that big guy inside. He pulled up and shot the 15-footer.
It's a 3-point West Virginia lead, the largest West Virginia lead of the day. Moore from the corner answers.
Boy, what a great little mid-range game this guy has.
A back-and-forth first half has trundled right into a back-and-forth second half here in this non-conference matchup at the Coliseum. Johnson's floater is good. He has 6 points. Mountaineers lead by 3 again.
Williams says, the last time I came out, he threw it up for a dunk. This time, I'll let him shoot it.
Still a 1-possession game. House will take it to the cut. Rejected by Akok. But Williams has the flush.
Good defensive play by Akok. But again, Williams right on the spot.
That's what Akok can bring to terrific shot blocking ability on the defensive end. Already has 3 blocks this season, and this is just his second appearance of the year. Thinking about a 3, Akok from deep, yes!
That's got to make him feel really good. First one that he's been able to hit.
Now Akok matches up against Williams. Good double, good help by Kobe Johnson to poke it free. 13 Dragons turnovers. Akok again.
What a spark. Next dead ball is a timeout too, so that'll be good for him. Yeah.
Things things you love to see. A cook, a player who underwent a medical episode during an exhibition game in October, has given a humongous spark to the Mountaineers against Drexel. Back-to-back buckets as the Mountaineers lead by 6.
Back here at the WVU Coliseum, where a cook got this crowd on its feet, especially with that 3-ball. Now, Josh Eiler told us that in the first games that a cook is back, it's going to be tough to see what he can do, but he knows one thing for sure. He is going to be a difference maker at the 4 position. Now, on Wednesday, in his first game back, we saw him be that difference maker defensively, but boy, we're seeing it on the offensive end here tonight.
Thanks for that update, Angelica. Nick Farrell and Warren Baker with you. And Bake, of course, the Cook story is huge. West Virginia played its first 7 games with just 8 active players. A Cook came back against Pitt Wednesday. That makes 9. You get Kirk Risa back in a week for the game against UMass. Still no update on the ineligible Raekwon battle, but 2 lawsuits were filed in the state of West Virginia this week in an attempt to try to get him eligible this season. Meanwhile, Drexel has an answer out of the timeout. Mateo Cruz with a 3-ball. It's a 3-point game.
And Drexel now in a 1-2-2 zone. West Virginia needs to get into those spots, in those seams where they can get a good shot up.
Under 5 to shoot. Harris pulls the trigger. A little bit strong and rebounded by Drexel. Long 2 from Moore is short. Second chance for the Dragons. A long 3 for Moore is in.
Boy, that's that second shot that you give up that really costs. You know, Zach Spiker said at halftime the turnovers were really getting this team. West Virginia has 20 points off of those turnovers by Drexel.
Meanwhile, Moore has hit his second 3-pointer. He's 2 for 2 today, just a 19% 3-point shooter coming into this contest. Loose ball rebounded by the Dragons. Game is tied for the 5th time. Drexel an opportunity to regain the lead. Mountaineers still in their man-to-man defense. Odin Jr. against Slazinski down low. Kick to O'Cruz. Around the house, now Moore. Under 10 to shoot. Moore off the screen from Odin Jr. Fires another 3. That one won't fall. Loose ball foul. West Virginia will get possession. All tied up at 48 apiece. West Virginia and Drexel deadlocked in a non-conference battle in Morgantown.
All right, know your role. Ball's in the air. You're back or you're going to the glass. Get that thing, spray it out, be shot ready, let it fly with confidence. Good shot, be ready to shoot, all right? Keep fighting.
Inside the Drexel huddle with 8th-year head coach Zach Spiker, a Morgantown native and a former administrative assistant on West Virginia's staff from 2002 to 2004 under John Beilein. Nick Farrell, Warren Baker, and Angelica Trinone with you here on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. A tight one between the Dragons of Drexel and Mountaineers of West Virginia. WVU looking for a win on its home court after dropping the backyard brawl by 17 points. Drexel hoping to bounce back from a 16-point loss against Princeton. Both of these teams shooting it well in the second half. Drexel 46%, West Virginia 57% from the field. But it's a 6-0 run over the last minute and 40 seconds for the visiting Dragons after making that switch from man-to-man to zone defense. How do you expect West Virginia to attack that zone if the Dragons go back to it at some point?
Well, West Virginia was really stale against that zone. Not much movement. They're back man-to-man now, but I would look at some point for them to go back to the zone.
Mountaineers 6 of 13 from beyond the arc. Dragons 5 of 13. Remember, this West Virginia squad through 8 games this season is the worst shooting offense in the Big 12 Conference. Kobe Johnson inside to Jesse Edwards, under 5 to shoot. Edwards traveled. We'll step aside for another quick break after that West Virginia turnover is still knotted at 48 apiece. West Virginia trailed Drexel by 2 points at halftime, but we're level at 48 apiece with under 12 remaining in the game. And we're in the holiday spirit here in Morgantown, most certainly so. West Virginia and Drexel in an important non-conference showdown. Mountaineers 3-5 overall, Dragons 5-4, but both of these teams are coming off losses entering this contest. And the key for West Virginia in recent games, Bake, has been second half success. This Mountaineers team trailed by just 1 at halftime against Pitt and then ended up losing that game by 20. Right now, though, it seems like West Virginia has the energy. We'll see if that can sustain, but the Mountaineers are in the midst of a scoring drought that's lasted 2.5 minutes. Good steal on the restart by Seth Wilson. 14 Dragons turnovers. Drexel back in man-to-man defense. West Virginia unable to score against the zone a few minutes ago. Harris steps into a triple, won't go. O'Cruz has the rebound for the Dragons.
I really feel bad for JoJo Harris. He's really struggling with his shot. And I think he's putting pressure on himself now.
Has just 2 points tonight. Harris, the sophomore from Canton, Ohio. We've got a whistle and a foul off the ball. Jesse Harris was tied up with Amari Williams in the paint. That's Edwards' first personal, second team foul against the Mountaineers in the second half.
Let's see, these guys have really been battling inside. Yeah, I guess you can call it that, but the way that some of these things have been going, let that go. Nobody gains an advantage. Yeah. Well, turnaround fair play. Right off of Williams' hands, out of bounds, back to West Virginia. You know, I'll tell you what, Nick, you really have to like the way that Josh Eilert has been using a cook. He gets him in just before a timeout's coming up. He knows a TV timeout, so he doesn't really have to leave him there for a long time.
Jamie Bergens has just picked up his third foul just across the timeline against Kobe Johnson. You mentioned a cook. This is his third shift of the game. He's played 7 minutes. We talked to Coach Eilert, who says a Cook is still working his fitness back. Played just 8 minutes against the Panthers. They're hoping he could go 10, maybe 12 today against the Dragons as he continues to regain his fitness and get back into game shape. Johnson a floater. It won't fall. Dragons have the defensive rebound and they'll push.
Kobe Johnson couldn't make up his mind whether he was going to shoot or lob that up just now.
Looking to go inside to Williams. Bergens gets it to him. Quickly around to O'Cruz. Back to Bergens for three. Rebound West Virginia. Here's Kobe Johnson. The kick to Seth Wilson for three. Mountaineers are ice cold at the moment. They have not scored in the last 4 minutes. They're 0 for their last 4. Check that, 0 for their last 5 field goal attempts.
Well, when you're like that, it's time to go inside. Get the ball down to Jesse Edwards.
And this has happened to West Virginia at times this season. If the Mountaineers can continue to play good defense, they might be able to weather the storm. A rejection from Edwards is right on cue, and an air ball from Williams is as good as a turnover. A little bit of life injected into the student section behind us, Bake. Under 10 to go, we're knotted at 48.
Need to figure out a way to get this ball down low one time to Jesse Edwards.
Harris tries to take it inside. He has to send it back out to Wilson. Just 3 to shoot. Wilson up and under. How did he make that? 11 points for Seth Wilson, and the Mountaineers are in front again.
Boy, that looked like a shot that Williams was going to gobble up.
Taking it right to a 6'10 rim protector like Amari Williams, who's a 2-time All-Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Johnson commits a foul, and I wonder if that's to get substitutes in there for West Virginia.
We saw Seth Wilson do the same thing against Pitt. A foul, get a cook off the floor.
And that is what happens. So it's Slazinski and Neve back in, Johnson and a Cook to the bench. So the 5 for West Virginia is Slazinski, Edwards, Neve, Harris, and Wilson. Mountaineers have a 2-point lead Drexel's drought continues. No points for the Dragons in 4+ minutes. Odin Jr. takes Harris to the cup, but loses it. Neve to the corner. Seth Wilson stepped out.
Seth needed to shoot it. He made his mind up before he got the ball what he was going to do. So anxious, he forgot to put it down and walked before then. The coaching staff said, Seth, shoot the ball. You had an open jumper.
And he knew it too. You saw him on the camera there, Big, making that gesture. Should have shot it, right?
Should have shot it. Yep, he predetermined exactly what he was going to do.
Under 9 to go. Drexel trails West Virginia by 2, but has a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Dragons have not scored in the last 4.5 minutes. Moore has made a couple from 3. That one doesn't go. Big possession here for the Mountaineers with over 8 minutes to go. Harris lost it. Last touched by the Dragons.
Well, Harris fortunate. He was in no man's land down there. Unfortunately, that ball went off of a Dragon there.
Change for Drexel. Garfield Turner replaces Amari Williams. Turner, the native of Gaithersburg, Maryland, has family that lives in Morgantown. Wilson's pass is deflected by O'Cruz.
Shot clock, you need to see that.
Harris with 3 on the timer. Harris, yes!
Good recognition by Harris. He saw that shot clock running down and got the shot up.
Four points for Harris, 4-point West Virginia lead. The drought has surpassed 5 minutes for the Dragons. Luke House against Harris to the cup, and the drought concludes.
House just bulldozed his way to the basket that time.
House now has 7 points, the Division II transfer for Drexel. Wilson to Edwards. How do you like that?
Lob the traffic and lay it off to the big guy.
The lob and slam gives Jesse Edwards a dozen on the day. Back to a 4-point lead for the Mountaineers. House can't connect that time. Neve slaps it and gets possession back for the Mountaineers.
Big possession for West Virginia. They need a good shot here.
Final game for the Mountaineers before the end of Kerr Kriisa's suspension. Wilson inside. Edwards got it.
With Williams on the bench, they're not going to stop him inside.
Great feed from Seth Wilson, who gets the assist. It's a 6-point West Virginia lead. Dragons have made 1 of their last 7 field goals. Make it 2 of their last 8. That's a big bucket from Justin Moore, who's been the go-to guy scoring-wise for Drexel. He has 16.
Yeah, West Virginia will let him shoot 3s. That's where he gets you in that mid-range or either driving to the hole.
56-52, West Virginia, just over 6 minutes left in the game. Slazinski inside. Can't get it, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2 when we come back. West Virginia and Drexel, a tight one, but the Mountaineers have a 4-point lead. 56-52 with 6 minutes left.
There's a screen at 15 feet. You can go under the first one. You go over the second one. Jesse, you got to get up to touch. You got to be up to touch on that second rescreen at 15 feet. So, yeah, just put a hand up. That guard's going to get back in front, and then you drop to yours. All right? Williams ain't in the game.
Inside the West Virginia huddle with assistant coach Jordan McCabe. Nick Farrell, Warren Baker, and Angelica Trinone with you on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. West Virginia leads Drexel 56-52 with 6:03 remaining in regulation. Quinn Slazinski is going to go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. He was fouled just before that break. He's got 11 points today. and is one of 3 Mountaineers in double figures. Edwards has 14, and Seth Wilson has 11. That's tied for his season high. He had 11 against Missouri State. Slazinski, 77% free throw shooter. He's got the first. The foul that sent him to the line was committed by Justin Moore for Drexel. Nobody in real foul trouble, as both of these teams have only committed 3 team fouls apiece in the second half. Slazinski goes 1 for 2. It's a 5-point game with 6 to go. Clock has not started. There it goes. Now it's started here inside the Coliseum, so we'll play on. Moore kicking to Cruz. Back to Justin Moore, who has a game-high 16 points for the Dragons. Moore gives it to Kobe McGee. Inside against Ofri Neve, and he scores.
Boy, nice strong move. McGee went in, used his body, got the ball up. Good, strong move inside.
McGee, the sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania, becomes the 8th scorer for the Dragons. 1 possession game. Johnson down low. Kicking to Neve for 3. Swish!
Boy, you can see the confidence growing in that young man.
Big-time bucket for the 6'6" freshman from Israel. Dragons need a response here. They hit a huge slump that spanned 5 minutes midway through the second half.
West Virginia's done a much better job on ball screens. We saw some mismatches in the first half. That's not happening now.
Moore over the screen, missed everything.
Let him shoot those all day.
One more look at the triple by Ofri Neve. By the way, West Virginia has now made 5 consecutive field goal attempts. More changes for the Mountaineers. Seth Wilson back in, and so is Cook. Mountaineers continuing to monitor minutes for Cook in this, his 2nd appearance of the season. Six-point West Virginia lead. Final 5 minutes of this contest against Drexel. Slazinski comes around for a long 2. Rebound Drexel. McGee wants to take it to the basket. Kicks it out, tipped by Williams. Turnover, here comes West Virginia. Johnson all the way, and he goes coast to coast.
Boy, terrible turnover for the Dragons just now. Leads to a breakout for West Virginia.
Johnson has come alive here for WVU over the last 5 or 6 games. He's averaging 13 points per game across West Virginia's previous 5 contests. He's got 8 today. And it's an 8-point WVU lead.
Well, I can't believe Drexel's not going inside to the big guy. Well, they get it to him just now.
Williams working against a Cook. Left-handed shot does not fall. Here's Seth Wilson. A Cook with the give to Slazinski. Got his own rebound. Can't put it away that time. Rebound Drexel. McGee with the ball fake.
Good defense by Neve.
The kick to Lamar Odin Jr. off the front of the rim. Coach Josh Eilert for West Virginia signaling to slow things down, and in fact, he's going to take a timeout. Well, a big story in this one. The Mountaineers have forced 17 Drexel turnovers. They've converted those turnovers into 22 points, and the Mountaineers lead 62-54 with 3:05 left. Well, Bake, we highlighted the big man matchup, Jesse Edwards versus Amari Williams, said it was key, and Edwards has been stellar.
Yes, he has, defensively and offensively. His timing on those lobs is tremendous.
Edwards has 14 points. That's a team high for WVU. The 5th-year from the Netherlands has scored at least 13 points in every game. That streak continues tonight, 9 games in a row with 13 or more. This is a big one for WVU. It's one that Coach Eilert would like to have. hoping the Mountaineers, can get to 4-5 as they get Kerr Kriisa, their suspended guard, back in time for the Massachusetts game. He'll make his debut December 16th at 6:30 on the road in what's really West Virginia's first true road game of the season. Then the Mountaineers will be back at home before Christmas on the 20th to face Radford, and then on the 23rd to face Toledo before a neutral site game against Ohio State December 30th in Cleveland. Big 12 play begins the first Saturday in January with a gigantic test on the road at Houston, a team that's number 3 nationally this week in the AP poll.
Well, let's see what we're drawing up on the board here. West Virginia, a good possession, get this thing to double digits with a bucket.
Here's Ofri Neve on the wing. Tries to go inside to Slazinski. It's tipped out of play. 7 on the shot clock. By the way, out of the timeout, it's Johnson, Wilson, Edwards, Slazinski, and Neve on the floor for West Virginia. Moore is on the court for Drexel, but no Edwards. Slazinski cannot get the reverse layup. Big possession here for the Dragons. They trail by 8. They've turned it over 17 times. That's the most turnovers West Virginia has forced this season. Moore goes to the rack. Loose ball out, and West Virginia gets possession.
Boy, Moore would like to have that shot back. He had bulled his way to the board, just put it up too strong.
Another scoring drought for Drexel, too. More than 3 minutes without a field goal. Dragons 0 for their last 5. Dragons will feel they need to get a turnover
get out of that
here.
corner. Boy,
And
that's
Kobe
the
Johnson,
worst place you could go is that corner right there.
But Kobe Johnson did get a timeout off, so the Mountaineers will retain possession. Clock stopped with 2:29 to go after the timeout. West Virginia leading 62-54.
Well, the Mountaineers should know now they've had token pressure, nothing really, really, really hot, but Drexel's going to turn that heat up right now. So everybody's got to be ready and come meet the ball.
Well, we mentioned the start of Big 12 play on the horizon, about a month away for the Mountaineers, and boy, the Big 12 conference bake looks like it's going to be as competitive as ever. 2 teams in the top 5, Kansas and Houston, 3 teams in the top 10 if you include number 6 Baylor, and both newcomer BYU and outgoing squad Oklahoma really surprising some people this year. Both teams undefeated, and really Porter Moser's squad has come on strong to begin this season.
Yeah, he was under some heat last year, but I tell you what, he's got the Sooners playing well.
Meanwhile, this Drexel team is picked to finish 3rd in the Coastal Athletic Association preseason poll. Charleston is the preseason favorite. Drexel goes back home for its next game against Albany. Turnover, West Virginia press does its job. Moore gets the bucket. It's a 2-possession game. Important sequence there for the Dragons. Still very much in this game with just over 2 minutes to play. Slazinski inside. Yes.
Nice drive by Slazinski just now.
On the other end, Odin Jr. heaves a 3. Rebound, Jesse Edwards.
Mountaineers need to take their time here.
It's an 8-point West Virginia lead. Here's Seth Wilson. The drive and kick to Neve. Rebound Drexel. Here's Moore. Can he go coast to coast? Loose ball. Tipped by Edwards. Right to Luke House. O'Cruz to House. 70 seconds left. House with the drive. That's a tough take and a good finish.
Man, a quick timeout by Zach Spiker.
Luke House, the transfer from Division II, Cal U, with a big bucket for Drexel. And let's send it to our sideline reporter, Angelica Trinone, who has more on the product of the Harvard on the Mon.
Whenever I talked to Coach Spiker about Luke House yesterday, he said, don't look at the fact that on their website it says he is a walk-on. That is just a formality. He was a guy he recruited during COVID, and he said in that moment he didn't have a scholarship available for him, but he told him if he committed to Drexel, they would make sure that they found a spot for him. That's exactly what they did. He said he is a guy whose work ethic and approach should come as no surprise and really sets the tempo for the entire team. He says he's a great leader and a great example for the type of players they want in this Drexel program. He says, yes, he can be quiet at times. He's more of a lead by example guy, but he said he really leaned on him during that Villanova game, during the timeouts. He can be vocal whenever he's needed, and he is a guy that you build your program around, and that's what they've done over the past 4 seasons.
Good stuff, Angelica. The native of Norristown, PA, from just outside Philadelphia, has 9 points for the Dragons, but they trail by 6. Edwards has it across the timeline. He's fouled. The Dragons have quite a few fouls to give at this point.
That's one reason if you're West Virginia, you really have to protect the basketball. You know, they've got to come after it, and if they foul, so what? Eventually, they're going to put the Mountaineers on the line if the game stays the way it is. So they have nothing to lose by fouling.
It's really been a game of minimal fouling, and that one is going to be attributed to House. It's just the 5th team foul for the Dragons.
Foul number 5.
They still have another foul to give. After that, you want that ball in your best free throw shooter's hands.
One last chance to try to steal. Uh-oh, that's a bad pass from Slazinski, and a gift for the Dragons. A dozen turnovers on the day for WVU. Critical possession here. Dragons trailing by 6. Moore, a quick 2. He sinks it. 20 points for Justin Moore. That leads all scorers. Mountaineers almost lost it again. Wilson trapped. Gets it to Neve. Edwards for the flush.
Good look by Neve. Jesse Edwards knew what to do with it.
Boy, that was a close call for the Mountaineers, Bake. House on the other end does not get it. O'Cruz a 3. I think Edwards has just fouled Williams. So possession is going to stay with the Dragons. An emphatic flush by Edwards on the slam cam, Bake.
Yep, just the 14th foul on the Mountaineers, so they'll have to take it up. Find the three-point shooters right now. Know where House is. Or Cruz, he can shoot the 3. Good job by the Mountaineers denying that.
They get it into Williams. Edwards fouls him. That's the 5th team foul for West Virginia. And that's Edwards' 3rd personal.
Well, Williams had his head down to go to the board. That was actually a good foul by Jesse Edwards, keep him from getting to the hole.
Here's Moore for 3. No good. Loose ball again. Seth Wilson is on it. Possession arrow favors the Mountaineers. It is a tie-up. Good hustle play by Wilson, who's already scored a season-high, tying 11 points. A big game for the junior from Lorain, Ohio. We've heard Coach Eilert Bake speak so much about confidence for these young players like Wilson, like Harris, guys who might feel they have the weight of the world on their shoulders in this very difficult season for the Mountaineers. But Wilson is one of 3 West Virginia players in double figures today and has been integral.
Drexel still with a foul to give, so they're going to be very aggressive. West Virginia needs to remember they still have 1 timeout.
They get it into Slazinski. He's immediately fouled.
So I'm glad the official across the court called that, because the official on the baseline did not have his hand up for a foul.
Sixth team foul for the Dragons. Next one will send West Virginia to the free throw line. By the way, that's 4 fouls on Bergens. Slazinski has it. He'll go to the line.
Bergens tried to pick up a cheap foul on Szynski just now. Officials wouldn't have any part of it. He fell down like he'd been shoved.
Kobe McGee, who just fouled Szynski, goes to the bench, so they'll put 2 substitutes on the floor. The Dragons will. O'Cruz and House both back in. They'll look to House, perhaps Bake. He's their best three-point shooter percentage-wise.
Yeah, he was off the court. They wanted more quickness on the floor. Now he comes back. They'll get it on the offensive end.
Szynski misses the free throw that would have made it a 3-possession game. Dragons have to work quickly. Moore fires it. It'll roll out, and that should do it. The Mountaineer faithful here at the Coliseum on their feet. West Virginia, a hard-fought victory over Zach Spiker's Drexel Dragons. WVU wins 66-60 to improve to 4-5 overall. Coach Eilert and Coach Spiker embrace it mid-court. The Dragons, with the loss, fall to 5-5.
Good ball game, good hard-fought ball game by both teams.
For West Virginia, Mountaineers paced by 16 from Jesse Edwards. Quinn Szynski added 14, and Seth Wilson had 11. That's one shy of a career high for the junior guard from Ohio. And Bake, one of the stories today, Mountaineers have faded in some of these games in the second half. That's not the case tonight. In fact, they may have played better basketball in the final 20 minutes.
Well, I think they did, yes. I agree with you.
And one last note, a terrific performance in just his second career appearance for the Mountaineers. He goes 12 minutes, scores 5 critical points during an important sequence in the second half. And Bake, I'm not sure how you feel about the plus-minus stat. I know that some folks don't really value it, but Cook had the highest plus-minus rating in this game. He was plus 15 for the Mountaineers. When he was on the floor, they were effective.
That's exactly right. What a lift he gave him, and being able to hit that big 3. I can't imagine what that did for his confidence.
All smiles for guys like Josiah Harris. The Mountaineers sing Country Roads on their home court. They're 4-5 overall after a 66-60 victory over the Drexel Dragons. Dragons led today by a terrific performance from Justin Moore, a game-high 20 points. He averages 10 per game. That's well above his season average. West Virginia, though, able to keep Amari Williams in check. He had 12 points, which is about what he averages on the season. That was an important duel, Edwards versus Williams, and the Mountaineers got the job done.
Got the job done, yes. He is a very, very good player, but the West Virginia team was able to do a job on him.
Stand by here with us. We're hoping to chat with a couple of Mountaineers as we wrap up our broadcast. By the way, Roger Lenhart produced this show. Eva Buckman directed it on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The celebrations will continue. A Saturday afternoon victory in Morgantown. Mountaineers defeating Drexel 66-60. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Angelica Trudeau, now, who's joined by Seth Wilson.
Well, Seth, a lot of hugs, a lot of smiles right there, especially you and Josiah Harris. How good does it feel to get this one?
It feels amazing. It's a blessing, you know what I mean? To come out here every night, perform for the fans, get a win tonight, and play well.
Let's talk about you individually. Drexel was on a 9-0 run. You come in, you pop the 2 threes, get the offense going. How much confidence did this game, 11 points for the first time since the season opener, give you?
Oh, man, a lot of confidence going forward, looking to build off of it. Oh, man, it feels good. I ain't gonna lie, because it was rough. Just trying to build from here and keep going.
Now, I want to ask you this. Coach Eilert said he's been trying to challenge this team to have some fun, not only in practice, but in games, in hopes of getting you guys back on the winning track. Safe to say you had a lot of fun here tonight?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was fun. You know, like coming out here and competing, playing together, and getting a win. It was fun.
Seth, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, Angelica, thank you. The Mountaineers have weathered the first 9 games of the season with a 4-5 overall record. They will get star point guard Kirk Kriisa back on December 16th against UMass. For Angelica Trudeau, Warren Baker, and all the members of our crew, I'm Nick Farrell saying so long from Morgantown. West Virginia wins 66-60. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.